Hey everyone, welcome to our lesson on solving right triangles. When we talk about solving right triangles, we're talking about triangles that have a 90-degree angle, right triangles. And when we're asked to solve these, we're being asked to find all the missing parts. So to do that, you might have to find missing sides or missing angles. When you're looking to find a missing side, just remember a couple of things. If you have two of the sides and the third one's missing, you have some options. You can actually use your Pythagorean Theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. A and b are always your legs of the triangle, and c is your hypotenuse across from the right angle. If you do not have two out of the three sides, though, you're going to have to use your trig ratios. So we'll take a look at that. Sine, cosine, and tangent. You also might be asked to find missing angles. So you need to keep in mind that all angles in the interior of a triangle sum to 180 degrees. You can use that fact a lot of times when you're given two out of the three angles. You can just see whatever's left to add up to 180. Just add the other two, subtract from 180. Or you may also have to use your trig ratios to find these if that information is not available. Okay, so let's take a look at an example where we need to find all the missing parts in our triangle. Want to look and see what we have to start with. We are given one of the sides. We are given the hypotenuse. I know that's the hypotenuse because it's across from the right angle symbol. And we're missing this third side called B over here. We are also given this little angle here, 40 degrees. So we have a little bit of work to do because we need to find all of the missing pieces. Let's start by finding the missing angle. That might be the easiest because we do have two of the three angles. So what we can do is, we know that this missing angle here, B, is going to be 180 minus the sum of the other angles we already have. Because they should all add up to 180, right? So 180 minus whatever we get when we add 40 plus our other 90 degrees. That's in the corner over there. So we'll do that and we're going to get 50 degrees. So we now have all of our angles. We need to find our missing side. Little b over here, lowercase b. We do have two of the three sides, so let's practice using our Pythagorean Theorem. And when we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and write it out. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Just remember, don't get caught up in the letters of this formula. Just remember that the a and the b are the legs of your triangle, no matter what they're labeled or called, and the c is your hypotenuse. So I'm going to go ahead and put 7 here for A, just let B stay B, and 10.9 is my hypotenuse. So I have this set up and my goal here is to find B. I'm needing that missing side, so I need to do my solving steps until I get B isolated. So I'm going to have 49 plus B squared. I'm going to move through this sort of quickly. 81. You can work on it along with me if you like. Move my numbers here. I'm quickly trying to get B by itself here. And I want to take the square root. And B is roughly 8.36 or so. Alright, once you have found all missing sides and angles, then you're finished solving your right triangle. So just scan over once more and make sure you've done that. Also, it's usually a good idea to go ahead and write those numbers in once you find them. Go ahead and label those pieces in your triangle. Alright, we're going to take a look at the same triangle, but suppose we're missing one extra side. So that makes it a little harder, but not too bad. We're just going to have to use our trig ratios in that case. Remember that B was 50 degrees. Let's put that in here. And we have our 90 degree here, and we don't know these two sides. We're pretending like we don't know them. You could start by finding either side. When you choose the side you want to find first, that's going to determine which trig ratio you're going to need. So let's say that I want to find B again. I have this angle here. I have the side opposite of this angle, and I want the side that's adjacent to this angle. So think about opposite and adjacent and which trig ratio that would be talking about. So I know that's tan. So I'm going to set up a tan equation here. Tangent of 40 degrees is equal to the pieces that I have that are opposite over adjacent. So I have a 7 in that spot and a b in the adjacent spot. So here's our setup. So what we're looking for again is b. When you have a fraction in your equation, you can always make the other side a fraction and cross multiply to get rid of fraction if you like to do it that way. So you would have b times tan 40 degrees equals 7. And then you need to get b by itself. So we're going to divide out tan 40 degrees. And we are going to need our calculator to type that in. And we're going to get b approximately 8.34. And I know that's a tiny bit different from what we got last time. It should be the same. The reason is because we rounded a little bit as we went along in our first example, and that's a good time to mention the more numbers that you can leave in your calculator as you go along calculations, the better, the more accurate. So this answer is actually the most accurate because we didn't round along the way. Okay, and I just want to mention you could have started by finding c if you wanted to. You could have started this way. If I wanted to find c, I could have used sine instead. I'm not going to finish this one out, just going to set it up. Because the pieces for sine are opposite in hypotenuse, and if I was going to find c, I would be dealing with that 7, which is opposite, and c, which is the hypotenuse. So there's your setup for that, if needed. Alright, we having fun yet? We have one more example. We need to use trig to find a missing angle, because I need to show you how to do that. So we already know what b is, but we're going to pretend like we don't. And we're going to learn how to find it using trig. You may have to do that in the future. So again, I'm just going to kind of look at what I have. I'm needing this angle b. I have this side here, 7. And if you're going to use trig, you're going to need another side. We have found both of these sides. So let's put in our value for side b that we know to be true, 8.34. And let's just assume that they give us that. Alright, so think about it. I've got the opposite side to b, and I've got the adjacent. Opposite, adjacent. So that is tan, again. So I know that the tan of b should be equal to, is going to be equal to, opposite over adjacent. If you'll just think it out, say it out as you're writing out your setup, you will come out with an equation that you can solve. So I just need to get b by itself here. Tan is attached to b, so I'm going to undo that by using tan inverse. So I'm going to take, you could go ahead and find this value here if you wanted to. I'm going to take the tan inverse, and this key is located on your calculator above tangent of this side, and that's going to kind of get rid of tan for me. And I need to do the same thing to the other side. So tan inverse of whatever value you get here for 8.34 over 7. Okay? And you're going to come out with roughly 50 degrees if you're round. The same value that we got in the first example, so that's good. That matches. And this concludes our lesson on solving right triangles.